Welcome to the
was not
operation.
prepared for that. That was a sweet intro.
Oh my god, you ruined it! Ruined it.
Oh fuck! Oh no,
We did that last week too. Pay attention, Jared.
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, it wasn't that. There wasn't the video clips with it.
Yeah, I didn't see that last week.
I thought it was like a live video, and I was like, I don't have a beard anymore.
Oh,
very sad. All right, welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast, episode 21. We are back and cleaner shaved than ever, except for Clay, who's filling in for the beard representation.
Yeah, somebody.
He's the king of Munchkin Land himself, Clay Gable. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing great, Travis. Have you partaken in any Wicked in your free time yet?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another co-host to introduce. He's got his 5 milli. He's got his signature set. He's the bad boy of Shiz University, Jared Fierro Erickson. How you doing, Jared?
I don't know if you should put me in the same ballpark as Fierro. I mean, have you seen his hips move? Hopefully, we'll find out today if he has.
Dancing through life.
Yeah. I just want to say our podcast is old enough to drink now. That's kind of neat.
Congratulations. Should we do a toast or something?
It's pretty early for me, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, let's not bury the lead. This is your Wicked minute. Me and Rachel watched Wicked this weekend.
Oh, yes.
So we enjoyed it more than we enjoyed the live play. Okay, we're not big theater people. I get it. The movie is more engaging. It's got more action. You feel a little more immersed. Ariana Grande is phenomenal in it. She's so good.
Oh yeah.
However, I will say, Elphaba in what's her name? Elfie. What's the actress's name? In
Cynthia
Vero or something?
Yeah.
Okay. She was not as good as the one that was on the West End, Alexia Kadim. I wanted to shout her out. Yes, because she was phenomenal on the West End. I guess she played Wicked for a couple of years, left, did a bunch of other shows, and then came back for the first dual black lead rendition of Wicked. So there's a black girl that plays Galinda, and then there's a black girl that plays
Galinda.
Anyways, she was phenomenal. She was great.
This is a call out to all Galindas and Elphabas. We have an open seat at the table. Come to Operation Game Night. I mean, I'll take Ariana Grande if it so happens. That's fine. I hold space for that. I don't know if you guys get that reference, but please, Ariana, please come with me to the Operation Game Night.
And she can hold one of our fingers awkwardly on the couch.
I mean, they call me sausage finger for a reason. That thing is massive. You're gonna have to use the whole hand. So,
anyways,
there we go. I'm already off the train.
All right. So, episode 21, we are going to debrief our weeks. Then we are going to go on the mission objective, which is a head-to-head board game showdown. And the category today is best at 6 players. Then we're going to go over the fence and talk about what we've been doing outside of board gaming. And then we're going to wrap this show up. So, Clayton, debrief your week for me.
Let me debrief for you my week. Oh my God, I've already botched it.
He's botched it.
Let Jared
Just
go
like
first.
The Steelers.
All right, Jared. Yes. We're doing a quick swap.
Going?
Jared, you're going.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, this is, again, I said it last week, flexibility is key to air power. No surprise here. I got Camel up. As Clay likes to call it, CU. I will be calling it CU from now on. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So Alex Flory and Psycho Steve Larson, they came, brought their wives and beautiful families. We got CU to the table, and then we also got a little bit of Super Mega Luggy Box. So surprise, surprise, party game guy here. And I just want to say, I do judge my game nights when I get CU to the table, how tall we stack the camels. And we got a 5 stack. Okay.
Nice.
I think that's pretty excellent. It's not the best I've seen, but that is above average. You're having a good night. You are screaming when you see a little 5 stacker. Lots of spoilers. Lots of people jumping on the red tiles and going underneath the stack. totally screwing my end game, it's fine. No, but I had a blast. So those guys were wrestlers with me and Clay at the academy. We're all here at ACSC. They're doing a special program while they're here, and so we're all here. Might as well play some board games, right? And I had a blast getting that stuff to the table. I just want to debrief what happened about an hour ago. Okay. I'm not going to disclose their BGA names, but they were slow as tar. I was on the bike. As you can tell, I may be a little bit still glistening. But I got to my game of choice, obvious, Arnak. And these dudes, they're taking too long to make their moves, okay? And I was on the bike for an hour playing Arnak. I get a little itchy after 30 minutes. I'm like, come on, we got to get this done. And I eked out a win by 1 point at the very end. So it all made it worth it, I guess. But, yeah, I got a little sweat on riding the bike and got my Arnak in for it's probably a daily Arnak at this time. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to wear my Operation Game Night t-shirt. Thanks, Clay. Came in the mail.
Thanks, Amanda.
Amanda.
Yeah,
Amanda.
I thought it was going to be a little embarrassing if we showed up wearing the same shirt because I was going to throw that one on. But luckily, my mother-in-law made me this nice Operation Game Night shirt, so we're not matching. But Jared, I have a question for you.
Shoot me.
So I lent Camel up to one of my friends here, and he said that he is cameled up out. He's done with Camel up for now because he's playing with his family. Okay, he's got two younger boys. Got his wife. Okay, two younger boys refuse to roll the dice. They're just gonna gobble up all the side bets and just like wait people out until somebody else takes initiative to roll. How do you mitigate that in your games of Camel up?
So actually, this was brought up during our game night because Steve is like, Jared, why aren't you rolling? And I realized I'm a better. I don't roll. I let
you're the staller.
Let the other people roll, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep hedging my bets. That is honestly a problem that I saw this week while playing. It is a lot of fun though to get the pyramid out, shake it up. I might have to come back to you on that one because they noticed that after the second time they're like, Jared, you haven't even rolled once. So then I just kept rolling because I was like, actually, you're right, and it is fun to roll the die. There's a lot of excitement once it comes out. People are yelling. People are.
Do you think they need to up the price of that reward there?
Ooh. We could do like a house rule like that.
You get two.
The roll is 2. That could. And if you end it, maybe it's worth 3. If you end
I like that.
That would be cool. Because
it's
kind of finicky anyway. Like you take this pile that's worth 1 anyway, so you might as well just take the coin. I don't know. So we might have to work on some house rules here. I don't know what the expansion's like either.
I thought Camel Up was a perfect game. Are we finding holes, cracks? Is it coming apart at the seams?
The monolith is showing some signs.
Sounds like it's a good day for you to get a new 6-player game on your shelf.
It's like the Washington Monument. It's just changing colors a third of the way up. It's okay. Like we're just going to shift our focus a little bit. It's going to be better than ever on the way up.
Okay.
Before we move on from Jared, I just wanted to. Do you disclose to Psycho Steve and Flory that you are a podcaster about board games? Like, does that come up, or are you private about it?
Oh, I am very private about it, but I think it did come up. I'm not podcast forward, if you will. But I did mention that like we talk about Camel Up all the time on the podcast, and so
that's that. Did they have a good time?
They did. I believe they had a good time. We had Asian meatballs. If all the people out there like, Jared, did you feed them? Hell yeah, I fed them. Come on. Some Asian meatballs. Really good recipe from my boy Dallin Tavoyan. It fed a lot of people too. So maybe next week after we decide who gives me the best 6-player game, you guys can pitch me food ideas. Best 6-player recipe. How about that?
I want to know when you're going to play these trick takers that I sent you, Jared.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I did unbox Undaunted this week.
Oh,
that thing is hefty. That thing weighs
yeah.
like a good 15 pounds.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of chits in there.
I know, but it looks awesome. I just need to find someone to get it to the table with me because I'm excited. I read the lore about it. Like you're on a freaking moon, and there's like the corporations are breaking down, and now they're fighting. Oh,
yeah, it looks freaking cool.
It does. It looks very cool. Which is one of my Travis super Christmas box that he sent to me.
The super mega lucky box.
Super, yeah.
Yeah. Is that all you got for a debrief?
That's my week. Over.
Awesome. Clay, debrief your week for me.
All right. So we had a New Year's Eve party, and in that party, it was myself, Mary, and the Heddens, and we played games from 5 p.m. until past midnight, and it was an awesome game night. The lineup was this. We went to Mlem first, got everybody pumped up. Mary made it to deep space all by herself.
Ooh.
We all bailed. She had like one die left and she made it to deep space. It was an awesome moment. She ended up losing the game because she refuses to ever get off the freaking off the rocket ship. But that was pretty cool when she made it deep space by herself. That was fun. Then we followed that up with River of Gold, which I'm going to dive into a little bit further here in a minute. After River of Gold, we took on the Knizia classic auction game, Modern Art, which was a blast. And then we followed it up with a couple trick-taking games, one of which Travis sent, Lunar, and which was awesome. It took a minute for people to get their wits about them because in Lunar, you have a partner, and one of you plays the suit, and the other one plays the card value.
Yeah.
So you really have to be in sync with your partner, and like you're just trying to like get into this sweet spot of the amount of tricks you're supposed to take for the round. We had a ton of fun with that, and then we followed up with a couple rounds of the crew to keep the trick-taking spirit alive.
Nice.
But to go with the hotness here, 2024 release, River of Gold, designed by Keith Piggott and put out by Office Dog Games. This game has had my attention because it came up on a lot of people's top 10s of the year, and they described it as deceptively simple, which is obviously going to catch my attention as someone who enjoys these type of games, but really don't have the patience or time to learn and teach a freaking Feast for Odin to many people. You know, I just don't got that in me anymore. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to introduce the Heddens to a new game, and also myself and Mary to a new game. So in the River of Gold, you're essentially traveling down this river of gold. And let me say, the production is awesome because there is this gold foil like all through the board, just shimmering. It's on the box too. It looks so cool. But anyway, you're traveling down this river, and there's these 5 different regions. And on your turn, you can either sail one of your 2 ships down the river, X amount of spaces, and get the rewards from that region. Or you can place a building in a region, and then you own that building and will get benefits every time a person stops and gets something from that region. Or you can complete a customer card. So you have these customers that want a certain amount of goods, and you complete them. They give you like end game scoring conditions, and sometimes like ongoing effects. Like you can upgrade your ship to this royal ship that has a special ability. And all the while you're doing this, if you notice the boxes on the right here, as you do things in these certain regions, you're like jockeying for influence in the certain regions, and you will get more points at the end of the game based on who is further up that track. But the coolest part was at the end of your turn, you roll a die. It's got 6 sides, and what's on that die tells you what you can do on the next turn. So it really takes a lot of the thinking out of it. There are ways to manipulate it by using your divine favor and moving it up or down, but essentially you have a number and a region, and you can take actions with that number or in that region. So if I have a 1 and it's the tree region, I can either move one of my ships one space, or I can build in the tree region, or I can complete a customer for the tree region. So I really like it. It's almost like Castles of Burgundy-esque, where you have to like deal with the die that you're given and then like make the most of it. Like, okay, well, I've got this now. Maybe I'll build in that region over here. And, hopefully this is a big region. People are stopping there. There's a lot of rewards. So I'm going to keep getting benefits as people sail their ship through there. I really like that too. The building setup where the people that stop there get something, but also the person who owns it gets something. So yeah, it probably took us an hour and 15 minutes to get through this on a first play. So it was a lot of fun. It's on BGA. So
really,
yeah, so you can check it out if it sounds interesting to you. But great little game. I'm excited to play it more because again, it was deceptively simple. Like it looks kind of like a lot when you see the board, but ultimately you're taking one of those 3 actions, and a lot is dictated for you by what you roll on that die. So the decision space is smaller than you'd think, but you still feel like you can, wiggle and maneuver within it to get what you want. So a lot of fun. River of Gold. I can see why people like it. What's up, Jared?
So are the buildings, when you place them, is it like no one else can build there? Like you own, it's like Monopoly almost. Like you set up your houses and okay. I like it.
I was going to describe this as like Castles of Burgundy meets Whale Riders meets Monopoly, because it's got like aspects from all 3 of those kind of meshed together, and it sings, man. It's a nice little game.
I also have another maybe a little bit more in-depth question. Where is this happening in China?
So I don't know. Have you heard of like the Legends of the 5 Rings or something?
Yep.
Travis, you have?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it's a made up place. It's like a fantasy world, maybe. I don't know, but there's like a world of this Legends of the 5 Kings, and this is like the Rokugan, or something.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure that the CCP is not getting inside your head and making you think that they actually own the South China Sea. I just want to make sure this isn't the South China Sea, or as my friends in the Philippines like to say, the West Philippine Sea. So just throwing that out there. This is a military podcast. Information.
But our views are our own. Rokugan is the the fictional land it's set in. That's all about accurate. 60-90 minutes.
I propose that we play this one live on a Twitch, because I was getting my interest piqued when you're saying that.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down.
I love it.
It's a date. Travis, what would you like to debrief from your week?
I had all these big, beautiful games show up, and watching them literally stack up on my dining room table was kind of giving me like anxiety. And because if I want to get these played, I have to open them, punch them, learn them, teach them, probably tear them down. And it just seemed like kind of a daunting task to do that for a lot of these bigger games, even though they're very simple or whatever. So I just needed to unstick myself a little bit. So I played a whole lot of small box games this week that I want to talk through. First one was Penguin Party. It's a reprint. 25th Century Games just did a reprint. It's a Renner Knizia game, whole bunch of different artists, but you're basically stacking penguins of different colors from your hand into this big pyramid. And then any penguin that you can't lay down, you get negative points for. Honestly, not the greatest game, greatest game, and certainly not my favorite Renner Knizia game, but you're basically building this pyramid that you can see on the YouTube if you go and watch the YouTube, but they're different colors. You lay them down. You can't leave any gaps between the penguins. And if you're putting one on a higher tier, it has to be one of the 2 colors that is beneath it. So you have a gap, a blue and a red card. Up above that, those two in that gap there can be a blue or a red card. And so you're trying to position your penguins based on what you have in your hand to lay these down as quickly as possible, to keep these kind of streaks of colors going, to ideally lay down your whole hand. And if you lay down your entire hand, you get to return 2 minus points, 2 negative points to the pool, and those don't count against you. Otherwise, you take minus points for every card left in your hand. Super simple game. You could play this without thinking about it. It took us all of 5 minutes to play this game. Yes, Clayton.
I didn't know there was a card game version of this. I got for like $5 at Petrie's. Shout out to Petrie's. One time in the used section. Yeah. There's Penguin, but it's
Does it go vertical?
You stack these penguins. Let me find it. It looks like it was around the same time frame, but I play it with the kids every now and then. There it is.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yes.
You stack them like this.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the same rules. It has to match.
Yes. Yeah. So when you were describing this, I was like,
that's a way more interesting version of this. Because Penguin Party is you're just laying these cards down. It takes 5 minutes to play. You could watch a TV show and be invested in the TV show and still keep this game moving. It has a 1.13 out of 5 on BGG for weight, and that is probably too high. So, not my favorite Reiner game, and I will probably play it a couple more times or give it away or something. Next, we played Yokai Sketch. This is a game that I got an S in last year. This was designed by Ignacy Ferry, and artist is Vincent Dutrait, published by Devere Games. So, Yokai Sketch, you are battling. It's a 2-player game. You're battling for these different piles of yokai that you are trying to draw into your notebook. You have these cards that are dual-sided, and the cards have, one different color on each side that you play to the matching color yokai that you're trying to sketch. So once both sides have cards that equal the number that's on the back of the yokai, the numbers on the back of the yokai range from 3 to 7 for each of the piles that you shuffle up. Once, let's say I laid the second card down, but my opponent already had 1 on her side or their side, then that yokai goes to me because I had the majority. If there's ever a tie on both sides, that yokai is scared away and they run to the bottom of the stack. We both lose those cards that are sitting there to the discard, and then we continue to play. So on your turn, you're just drawing a card, and you can play up to all of your cards at once. So you can put together some pretty big combos. Some of the cards have these special symbols. One's a handprint. The other is a little rice ball. The handprint allows you to take one of the yokai from a different color and move it onto the stack that you're competing for. So if you know that this person's going to they have the majority on this yokai, maybe they're going to score 7 points, you could play this special card to that stack and then move a lower value yokai there to prevent them from getting as many points. The other one is to distract the yokai. And that one is you take a card from your opponent's side, you flip it to the opposite color, and then you play it to the matching new color stack. So really you're just it's like a lane battler where you're trying to get the majority on these different piles to score points based on the yokai that you complete. This one is actually pretty interesting. I said it reminded me, I'm not sure why. I said it reminded me of Jaipur, but it's not, the mechanisms are nothing like that. So I was just talking, I don't know, nonsense, but this one's actually pretty cool. This one will stick around for a while, and it's a fun, easy game, super light, super easy. And it comes in a really small box. It's the size of a deck of cards. So that is Yokai Sketch.
Is yokai, is that a mythical creature?
It's basically like a Pokemon. It's like a mythical spirit, basically. Yes. I think they're more spirits than they are creatures, but I think they take the form of creatures more often than not.
Okay. I'm getting the lore. I like it.
Better than Castle of Burgundy.
So the next one that I played is For Northwood. This is a 2021 publication designed by Wilhelm Sue, artist is Wilhelm Sue, and it's published by Bad Boom Games, which is a self-publisher for Wilhelm Sue. So this is a cute little solo-only trick-taking game where you are trying to convince these animal creatures that are the kings and queens, the royalty of this kingdom, to fight for your side. There's like no combat in this game. I'm not sure why they call it, or why you're trying to convince them to come to your side. But you have these kings and queens that are all laid across that have a different number beneath them, ranging between 0 and 7. Okay, so the random order. And what you do is you have a draw pile that's going to represent the conversation that you're having with this leader of this village or fiefdom or whatever it is. And so I draw my 8 cards into my hand. Then I try and figure out, like, I think I can win 4 tricks with this. So I go and I'm going to address the leader that's on the number 4 card. And so what I do is I take turns flipping cards one by one from this conversation deck and trying to play cards against it to win exactly 4 tricks. If I do that, then I slide the card down. It says 4 Northwood above it, and then I earn a certain number of victory points. The trump suit is based on the suit that's on the animal that you're talking to. So there's like clovers and paw prints and leaves and nonsense suits, but you're just basically trying to win these different tricks or win the correct amount of tricks based on the cards in your hand. And once you play those 8 cards down, then that round is over. Win or lose, you move on to the next one. So it moves pretty quick. This one's pretty cool though, because you have special abilities that you can use to help yourself out. So you have these 4 jacks that sit below that have special abilities on them. And as you do these like rounds of tricks, you can use their special abilities once per conversation, they call them. And some of them allow you to swap leaders. Some of them allow you to draw more cards. Some of them allow you to discard cards. And so you're trying to like strategically use these special abilities to win the exact number of tricks needed to convince this leader to fight for Northwood. Then if you convince the leader to fight for you, you can actually take them and move them down and use their special ability later on once. So like, let's say I get one that allows me to just discard 3 cards. I'm not sure if that's actually one, but I could take him, move him down. Next round, I'm going along and I'm like, man, I need to close this round out. I can discard 3 cards, move him back up. The round's over, I move on. And then there's a sliding scale of victory based on how many points you end at the end of the game. This one's actually pretty cool. It comes in this really tiny box. It can fit in a backpack or a purse or, whatever. Take it with you wherever you go. It's super easy to learn, to teach, to play. And it takes, 20 minutes to play through all 8 of the piles of tricks. I think you guys would actually think this one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The artwork is super cute and cuddly. Gwen loved it. She sat on my lap while I played it, and it was that easy. It's like a kid's picture book. It's super cute. So
this is amazing. Did we just come up with another Operation Game Night medal? A Gwen? What do we want to call this medal? I mean, it's beautiful. It's like give me animal vibes. Like,
yeah, it's like the Gwen
gauntlet. I don't know. The Gwen gauntlet has been dropped.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She was loving looking at
that one.
Yeah, love it. She loved looking at the little pictures and super easy and cute.
I love it.
All right, I got one more.
Wait, yes, we got Clay with a hand raised.
So I'm super interested in this game. So
yes,
does it have like a cascading challenges or difficulties or chapters you play through, or is it just like every time you play it's going to be some variation of the same situation?
So this one does have additional challenges. It actually comes with like 2 rule books. One just teaches you the basic rules. You play with just kings and queens up on the upper level, but there's this whole stack of other leaders that then you can mix in and add them in. So the leaders are different, and then there's a whole like booklet. And I wish I had the copy of the game with me. I could show it to you, but there's a separate booklet that has challenge modes that you can go through. and play. So I haven't dug into those hardly at all, but I know that it exists, and there's a little bit of a way to shake it up if you get bored playing just the basic version.
And all that fits in that little box.
Oh yeah, it's literally like the size of maybe the little thicker than a normal deck of cards.
Because I'm not a solo gamer, but when I have gotten into playing solo games, they're usually small, little boxes. Like My City Rollin' Right, I played the whole thing by myself, and it just like going from one thing to the next like kept me motivated to keep bringing it back. And then like Trailblazers has these different scenarios and challenges that you can try and work through. So this is definitely one that probably could fit that bill if you're not just doing the same thing every time, because I do like having a little bit of if I'm by myself, I want to be like challenged or, trying to accomplish something other than just play the same game over.
And if you are interested, maybe you don't want to commit to buying the game, even though it's not all that expensive. I know that there are print and play versions of this one that are out on the internet. So maybe track one of those down. You can print it out yourself and give it a try if you're not convinced. So that is For Northwood by Will Sue.
It might need to get a sustainability medal now too. I mean, I like it. Small. Love it.
Yeah. Clay, I think you'd dig this one. It's like you get kind of the same feel as a trick taker. It's not super complex or anything. You're like literally just comparing two cards that you're playing. But the powers are interesting enough where you get to kind of combine them. It kind of reminds me of like a solitaire trick taker mixed with like what is it? Food Chain Island, if you've ever played that one.
I've not.
That's a button shy game, but every time you eat an animal or whatever, you get to use its special ability that allows you to like skip animals or rearrange animals, or it's like it's a puzzle mixed with like some other mechanism. So all right, I got one more brief real quick, and that is Tiny Epic Cthulhu. This game just came out, 2024 production. Designed by Scott Alms, maker of Beer and Bread and plenty of Button Shy games and a bunch of the other Tiny Epic games. Artist is Susie O'Connor and Ian Rosenthaler, and published by Gamelin Games. So I have never played any of these Tiny Epic games, but I've always been kind of intrigued by them. They always come in these tiny little boxes. They're maybe like, 4x6. And this is their latest publication that just released and is going out to backers now. This game, Clayton, pay attention. I think you like this.
Yeah,
this is like, he's clicking through the slides.
I know. I'm very distracted.
Like, I played this solo, okay, but it's a cooperative game in the vein of like a Marvel United.
Come again?
It's like Marvel United with a Cthulhu theme in a tiny box.
Whoa!
So you have this pentagram in the middle with this little tentacle spinner in the middle. And around it, you have 5 different rooms or different areas of the village. And you are moving your character, your investigator, around the outside to banish, what do they call them? Shamblers, which are basically like the minions or whatever in the thugs in Marvel United. You're trying to pick up madness, little, what do you call those? Tentacles. Yeah. Little tentacles that represent like madness that upgrade your character. And then you have the big baddie, which is the great old one, that moves around the board, that basically blocks your movement and does special things when you bust on these different tracks. So it's got 2 different phases. The first phase is you're trying to decode the Necronomenon. There's a lot of tongue twisters in this one. It's like the Book of the Damned or whatever, the Necronomenon. And so you do that by going around, and each of the rooms has a face down green card in front of it. You get to it, and one of your actions can be to decode it, where you flip it over, you read it, you know what tentacles you have to pay for your madness chips or whatever to pay to decode the book. Okay. So from your player board, you discard these ones that actually give you upgrades. You discard them to the discard pile. You decode the different books on these different rows. And then once you do 25 of those books, seems like a lot, but it actually moves super fast because you're getting 2, 3 at a time every single turn. Once you do 25 of them and you're earning bonuses as you decode them, then you enter phase 2, which is you have to seal the gates and shut away the great old one forever. And you do that by paying different madness tokens and stuff. So it's got like a little bit of flavor of like Cthulhu Death May Die meets Marvel United, and it's all in like this tiny 4x6 box. So
that's crazy.
I didn't even, how did I skipped over the best part. When you are putting out the scheme, like what would be the scheme tokens or whatever in Marvel United, they're like the madness tokens. You have to draw them out of a bag. The little chips, the little tokens that are.
You should have started with bags. Are you kidding
tentacles?
me?
Oh, you get to pull them out of a bag and put them on the room, and then you they get used up and you discard them to this like discard mat that's over here. But then when you get a bust, they all go back in the bag and you start fresh. And
no.
It's great. Yeah. So it's got push your luck. It's got cooperative play. It's got bag building. It's got upgradable characters, diverse character abilities. Yeah. I actually like this game. I was pleasantly surprised by this game. I have the cult of I don't even know what the expansion's called. There's like a cult expansion for it. It's got new rooms. It's got new characters. It's got new stuff. I haven't really dug into that a whole lot, but Tiny Epic Cthulhu, I'm kind of digging it.
That's sweet.
I also want to give a quick shout out because I was kind of feeling overwhelmed just pulling this game out and like setting it up and learning it. They have a Dized app. I don't know if you've used this, Clay or Jared.
I have.
Yeah.
What is that?
They have a Dized app, and it's an app that like walks you through the setup and teaches you the game, and it's interactive. So you like download the app, you click on the game, and then it just like plays. It's like, here's how you set it up. Pick any character you want. Let's get started. And then it'll say like, here are your options. What did you do? And then it'll just like walk you through the tutorial of the game. So shout out to Dize for not having me read the rule book and have to do this.
So it's like you set it up in front of you, like in real life in 3D, and then you use the app to help walk you through it. So you're like visually learning it, like step by step.
Yeah, it's basically like
a
flow.
That.
There's like a flow chart running behind the scenes in this app, but it'll show you like a interactive visual representation of what's going on the board and what happens. Like it'll say, all right, what did this spinner land on? And I, click a little tentacle or whatever that it landed on. And it's like, that means that next phase, you're going to draw one more tentacle out of the bag than normal. And it'll just like walk you through all the different steps. So super intuitive. I've used it for this game and for the Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. And both tutorials were phenomenal on there. So the Dized app is
What is that again?
Dized. Dized.
Oh. Okay, I'll give that a Google.
Yeah, not all games are on there, but those that have the integration, it's pretty cool.
I was going to say, I did get some feedback from a listener that's like, hey, you guys talk about these games, but I don't learn like through sound or like I want to read something. So that like kind of cued me into like people learn games in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Like, so like if someone's more visual or tactile when they learn, like that sounds like a great option. Or if people like to just sit down and read the friggin' rule book, you can always do that. But I'm always interested in better ways to teach or learn games and stuff. So
I wish that Dice had more games available. There's only a select that are on there right now, but it seems like new games that come out pretty frequently have Dice integration. And for the listener, if you are not hearing what we're saying or you missed something or like maybe you're not understanding the name of the game or description or whatever, I always put all the names of the games in our show notes and in the chapter links for our episodes. So go ahead and read the show notes if you'd like to learn more.
I love it.
All right. Are we ready to fall in on the mission objective? Head-to-head board game throwdown, best at 6 players.
Could I interrupt and say why I requested this
let's hear it.
Challenge? I mean, and it goes, I've already kind of talked about it for a second. It goes back to my game nights. 6 players is a tough player count, in my opinion. I don't know. Clay's a veteran at getting people to the table, and I'm getting there. I'm growing, and I want to know, how do I get when I get 2 couples? I like doing a couple on couple, and you also know that I have Adri, and she's very specific about what kind of games she likes. I will not put that into my decision making today, but I like having 2 different couples because there's really good interaction between me, my wife, and the 2 couples. And then, yeah, I like 6 people, but 6 players is a toughie for me. Unless we're just going strictly, party games, and that's fine too. But I'm trying to open my 6-player aperture. So that's just a little lead in for today.
Amazing.
Well,
it is hard, Jared.
Ah!
Go ahead, Clay.
We'll be okay.
No, when you're right on track, Jared. Like when we moved from just having Mike and Hannah over to you guys moved into town, and it was like I had to start curating games for 6 players. I was like, oh my God. I was like watching all these YouTube videos, good 6-player games. It's tough to get outside of the party gamosphere and do a 6-player game. Like you're going to get a lot of social deduction games. You're going to get a lot of, pretty much party games, racing games sometimes. But yeah, hopefully we picked a couple to give you something to think about here.
I like it. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Travis, if I'm open to party or hardcore or whatever. I just want you to give me what you got.
Well, you're mentioning Adri playing as one of these 6 players, and I'm like,
oh, that could be a challenge. This could be a challenge in of itself, and we could bring her on. I don't know.
Do you want to do the coin flip, Jared?
I would love to. Let's see here. I can't stand up quite yet, and I can't reach my coin. Oh, can you blur? All right, I'm going.
I'm gonna remove. Okay. Jeez.
I just have underwear, okay? I told you I got off the bike. Oh, going down. Oh gosh.
We have a pantsless co-host here.
You can't see nothing. What coin do you want?
Zoom calls.
Do you guys want the prep school coin or do you want a dinner plate?
Dinner plate.
Okay,
dinner plate.
I'll give you the dinner plate.
Definitely not into the prep school stuff.
Okay. For the listener, I do have on Pumas. They're from Costco. I just didn't want to show it on the YouTubes. This is the dinner plate. This is the 10th Air Base, the Mission Support Group. I think the exec bought these and did not understand how big it is. This thing is like 2+ inches, aka the dinner plate. So we'll go Eagle for Travis Smith because he's going to make 06, and Clay's going to go be of someone in the outside. We're gonna go Travis on the Eagle, okay? And I'm not gonna flip, or should I flip? Like when I catch it, do I go like this?
Yes, catch it, go like that.
Boop, boop. Oh, no Eagle. Looks like Clay's going first, or do we defer?
No, I get to pick.
He gets to choose.
I am deferring to Travis. You may go ahead and good luck, buddy.
He lets me go and talk about these 4 games forever, and now I got to talk some more. All right.
You need some water?
I got some. I'm good.
So I want to draw your attention to this right here, Jared.
So he's already trying to put his finger on the scales, but let me send you to the world of Arrakis, okay? This is Dune, published in 2019 by Gale Force 9. This game has been remade 3 times. It's that good. Dating all the way back to the 70s when Dune first came out, okay? This game is meant to be played at 6 players. Look at the best at right there on BGG, okay?
Okay.
Because each of the 6 players plays a different faction in the Dune universe. I'm assuming you're familiar with Dune?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. You've got the Emperor, you've got the Harkonnen, Atreides, the Bene Gesserit, the Fremen, and the Spacing Guild are your different factions to be playing as. and each of them gets to embody that role all the way down to their special abilities for their race and for their clan. Okay, so this game is played on this big circular map that looks like Dune. It's got these different areas, different regions, and what the object of the game is if you are playing just by yourself without an alliance, you have to be holding 3 of the 5 strongholds by the end of your turn. If you're in alliance with somebody and you can only make a 1-to-1 alliance, you have to be holding 4 of the 5. Okay?
And you
Quite
both
difficult. Yes, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So what you do, you set up the game. There's a sandstorm that rotates around the board as it goes. So it's sweeping off all of these characters. It's bringing spice to the surface, which is drawing sandworms. Yeah.
I like that.
And then the different factions are vying for power and control of Arrakis and the spice, because the spice must flow, and whoever controls the spice controls the universe. So you have treachery cards and you have traitor cards that you are dealt. Traitor cards have one of the other faction's leaders on it. So you're dealt 4, you discard 1. That is like your get out of jail free card. If you end up in a conflict with somebody and you get to play their traitor card, then you're just like, get out of jail free. You don't lose any troops or whatever. Treachery cards are items that can be used later, shields and blasters and, nuclear weapons and thumpers and all sorts of bad stuff and good stuff for you. Some of it is pretty useless. Some of it is super strong, and you have to kind of really play when you use that. So the game is divided up into 10 rounds of 9 phases, but they're pretty fast. Don't like overthink how many phases and stuff. Spice blows. Okay. You flip a card. It tells you where the spice is showing up. If you flip a card and a worm shows up, it goes to where the spice last showed up. Spice is coming to the surface for mining and collection. Okay. Then you have a nexus. We're not going to get into all this stuff. Then people get spice based on whoever's like behind in their spice game. Then you go into a bidding round, an auction for the different treachery cards, which give you special abilities and different items that you can use in combat later on. You can bring people back from the dead and place your warriors out there. Shipping and battling. You redeploy your warriors to these different factions for future battles. I want to get to this. And what I really want to impress upon you is just the thematics of this game, okay? Where this game really shines is the inter-faction relationships, okay? So, the Emperor, super wealthy, okay? When people are bidding on these treachery cards to give them advantages in battle, they don't pay the bank, they pay the Emperor, because the Emperor has his thumb on the scales of this battle for Arrakis, okay? So he's super rich. If he's in an alliance with somebody, he can revive almost double their troops at any given time. So they can get their warriors out there faster. The Harkonnen are best at deception and trickery. Baron Harkonnen, he gets dealt 4 traitor cards at the beginning that allow him to like get out of conflict for free. He gets to keep all 4 of those when everybody else gets 1. Treachery cards, the weapons and stuff that you earn throughout the game. Everybody else's hand size is 4. He's got 8. He can throw down some big numbers and some.
He's a big boy, right?
He's a big boy. Okay. Everybody else, when they buy treachery cards from the middle during the bidding phase, if he buys 1, he doesn't get 1, he gets 2. So he gets some serious firepower when it comes to combat. And then if he's in alliance with somebody, they can use his treachery cards. Okay.
If you're in alliance with a specific other partner, is there like bonuses if Bene Gesserits are with the Fremen or whatever? Because I know there's some. Oh,
yes. So everybody else can use this like bonus for their alliance partner, which is pretty cool. So now we're getting to the interesting ones. Atreides has psychic abilities, so they get to look at all of the treachery cards before They're even bid on. They get to know what all of them are. Excuse me. He is also, or this faction is the only people that can take notes during the game. So he's got this secret notepad where he's keeping track of where all these treachery cards are. So he knows exactly what everybody has. And he could tell everybody, or he could take bribes from people for information. So people can say, I need to know what treachery cards this player has. Like, what did they just get? And you're like, hey, it's going to cost you some spice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or you could probably be deceptive and lie about it too. Like there could be, I don't know, maybe just spitballing.
I know that they recommend like keeping your word and playing honest and stuff, but when you're making deals like this, it tends to happen. So he also gets to look at the top card of the spice deck and know where the spice is going next. So he could be first to the battle to get the spice. And then when you go into battle, you have to. Let me explain how battling works. You have this disc. You have this disc that has the number of warriors that you're willing to bid. Okay. Then you have your treachery cards, and they're all face down. Then you take one of your leaders, which is worth different combat strength, and you play that all face down. And then you do this big reveal, and everybody shows both sides, and you're losing troops left and right. And the treachery cards take effect, and all this stuff.
And there's no combat intrigue like Dune Imperium.
The intrigue comes from the treachery cards, really.
Okay.
But
you can't like, all right, now I can see what's happening. Oh, I have this, and then you like bump up just a little bit to win. No.
Like the Atreides basically has kind of that power because he can look at either like their wheel or their leader or one of the cards. Like he can see ahead a little bit.
Okay.
And then the Alliance can do the same thing, like see what the other opponent is playing. Here's the best one, and everyone's typical favorite, the Bene Gesserit. They, at the beginning of the game, they predict who is going to win, what faction will win, and on what turn they are going to win. They take those two cards, they put them face down next to them. If that player wins on that turn, as predicted, the Bene Gesserit steal the win from them, and they win instead. So they are like conniving. They're working with the different factions. They can do like these little deals with each of the factions to like influence the game in the long run to try and get that person into power and to win the game. And they can steal the win if that happens.
Yes.
Okay. They can do a bunch of other stuff too. I'm not going to get too into it, but that's their main thing. The Fremen they like live on Arrakis, so they can move freely, and they can ride the spice worm. Worm comes up, and they can just like, they don't get killed by it. They can ride it to another position. They can put out more troops. They do all this stuff. And the Spacing Guild, anytime somebody wants to move their troops across the map, the money that they pay to move those troops goes to the Spacing Guild, and so they become super rich. So, super thematic. All the factions interact with one another. It's got combat. It's got press your luck. It's got bidding. It's got auctions. It's got secret roles. It's got secret powers. It's got all sorts of stuff. Super thematic. And there's a reason that this has been remade not once, not twice, but 3 times. Dune is here to stay. It only gets better. That is my initial pitch for Dune 2019.
It's like me because I've always seen Dune.
Yeah.
Because I love Dune Imperium, right?
Yes.
But that's, 4-player. And then I'm always just like, this Dune game, I know it's not Dune Imperium, but it always intrigues me. I have never actually dug into it until today. So I felt like I got a good rundown. I have a good vibe on Dune. It's not one that Dree is playing. That's fine. But I'm into it. Okay.
And I will say the actions that you're taking themselves are not all that difficult. It says a weight of 3.99 because there's a lot of things to do. And there's an advanced setup for the game if you want to get like really into it and really into the rules and variations of the player abilities and stuff. But the basic game is not a 3.99. It's far easier to learn than that. And you can get a lot of players really into this.
The main goal, or sounds like, is you're moving these warriors around to battle and maintain territory. So
yeah,
and then everything else is kind of just like accoutrement to that.
It's just extra theme laid on top of a area control warrior battling mechanism.
Oh yeah. I mean, you do know me that yeah, I'm a sucker. I love getting immersed. Okay. All right. I have my notes. I have no questions either. You were very thorough. Thank you for your.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, that was just a pitch. I almost fell asleep during that. Can you imagine trying to learn this game? Holy cow.
I mean, that's why there's Rodney. I'm sure he's got some kind of how to play.
I doubt Rodney would touch this with a 10-foot pole. It says 2 to 3 hours, and there is not a. I'd suggest you read through some of the comments or the reviews. This game can take upwards of 6 hours. And I know as the father of a young child, that may be difficult for you to get going. But just keep that in mind. I thought about your current situation in life and what games might actually realistically get played more than once a decade. It might be cool, but it also could be a giant flop if you try and bring this one to the table.
Okay.
So I get kicked off and you're slandering my game before you even give your pitch.
I slandered it hard.
Yeah,
Did you see that? He removed me from the stage, and then
I know that does seem kind of
suspicious. He started slandering.
You were froze up. I had to do what I had to do.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, keep that in mind. You want to talk about real theme in the game? Check this puppy out, Jared.
How about aminals? Aminals for a theme.
ZOO VADIS. In this game, you are zoo animals that are competing to become the mascot of the zoo through a form of political jockeying. So Bonanza, you love Bonanza. Say you want that same feeling of Bonanza where you're wheeling and dealing, making trades, but you want it to feel a little bigger. You know, you got a board, you've got these chunky meeples you're moving around on it.
I like chunky.
But at the same time, it's also probably simpler to teach than Bonanza. So you're playing a game, it's got a board, you got your people over, and essentially you take on the role of one of these animal species that wants to be the mascot of the zoo, and you are trying to get them to the star exhibit, and when they get there, have the most laurels. So how you do that is you always have to start on the bottom in the slums of the zoo exhibits, and then you have to get votes from everybody else in your exhibit. Well, not everybody else. You have to get majority votes from the people in your exhibit to move on to the next exhibit. So if you're in there with 2 other players, you need at least one of them to give you votes to allow you to move up further down the zoo. And
why would they do that?
Well, you trade things. You say, listen, maybe you have a voting block up here in this part of the zoo, and you got 3 of your critters in there. So anybody that wants to make it to the star exhibit is going to have to get your votes eventually. So you can promise votes in the future, or you can promise some of these laurel tokens, which are the end game points, in exchange for their votes. You can promise there's also these neutral peacocks that are white that you can just pay off no matter what. So to get their vote, you just pay them a laurel and you're good to go. You have their vote. There is, Travis talked about special player abilities in Dune. You also have those in ZOO VADIS. So each player has a very thematic ability in ZOO VADIS. So the armadillos can take these tunnels from one exhibit to the other and not have to worry about getting votes. The thing is, you can't even use your own ability. You can only give it to somebody else. And when you do, you get laurels for it. And so you're bargaining with your own special abilities to give it to people. And you're just trying to make it to this star exhibit with the most points. So you have to have at least one of your animals in the star exhibit to be eligible to win the game. So somebody could fill up 3 spots with theirs, and then there's only 1 space left, and anybody that didn't make it can't even win. So you have to make it down to the end eventually, but you also want to, do your fair share of bribing and extortion throughout this little zoo game. But the actions are so simple. You can either add a new animal to the base of the zoo. You can try to advance one of your animals by getting the necessary votes. You can move a peacock, or you can move, there's a zookeeper token that essentially lets you move from exhibit to exhibit without having to get votes. So 3 simple actions. You can teach this game so fast, tons of player interaction. Again, it feels like a bigger game because you have a board, you have this cool situation going on with these animals moving through the zoo. People are getting into it, but it is, I think, in your wheelhouse, a game that will get played, will get a lot of excitement brewing in you and by proxy, the people that you are playing with. So that's my pitch.
The weight was pretty low there. I mean,
yeah, it's not a difficult game.
The only actions you can do, seems like pretty simple actions as well.
It is simple. The game is in the player interaction, the actual what you're doing on your turn is very simple.
I'm so much of a wheeler and dealer. Like, you remember when, like, one of the first times we played Bonanza, I'm trying to coordinate these 3-player, 4-player trades, not realizing that was not allowed by the rules. Can you do that? Can you do it? Multiple player. Oh no.
You can. And the only thing that's off limits is that if you make a trade to offer something up in the current action, you have to follow through on that. But promises in the future, you can go back on those.
Like, I'm going to give you a coffee bean next round. I promise. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the picture, the box art gives me, what's that, like, ABC? Do you know that ABC book that's got it's just like super beautiful, and it's like alligators, and it's got this like crazy looking. Adri's gonna know what it is. I'll have to come next week with it, but like, it's very interesting. And it plays up to 7.
Yeah, I think it might play even more than 6. So it plays up to 7. Yeah, it's got 2 sides of the board, so it scales well. It'll be great at 6.
Okay, wait a second.
It'll be great at 6, but
is this a Dr. Reiner Knizia game?
It sure is. Brought to you by the good folks at Bitewing. This was an old game called Quo Vadis about like the Roman Senate or something.
Yeah, what the hell is Vadis?
I don't know. It's a Latin word of some sort.
Okay.
But you're just getting votes, and you're trying to be the zoo mascot, and it'll play in 20 to 40. You can play this like 6 times in the time it takes you to teach Dune. And you already have Dune Imperium, so that kind of scratches that itch. Yeah. I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about Bonanza. I'm like, what can level up that experience for you? And I think it's just like, adding a board, making it feel like a little bit of a bigger affair. And I think you'll have a great time with it. So, Travis.
Recently, Gemma has been, I don't know where she got it. It's probably from Miss Rachel. She's been asking everybody what's their favorite animal. And I'm just wondering, Clay, what's your favorite animal?
Dog.
Dog? Really?
Just dog. Generic dog.
No, like, what kind of dog? No?
No, just any dog.
Riggins?
Medium dog. Medium to large. Pretty much Riggins. My dog.
Man. Clay started his pitch, and like it's either my internet or my computer just stopped working. So I heard nothing of Clay's pitch. I'm sure he broke a bunch of rules and was very slanderous of Dune, but anyways, sorry about that.
Well, I mean, so the only thing I need to know from you, Travis, before we continue is what's your favorite animal?
I don't know.
Did you hear what Clay said? He said a medium to large dog.
A medium to large dog. Well, my favorite dog is a slightly larger dog than Clay's favorite dog.
Wow.
Large dog. So we have medium to large and large dog. And I have used dog when Gemma asked me what's my favorite animal. I said dog. And then Adrian was like, that's a cop out. Like, you can't just say dog. And so I went with platypus. Platypus is a close second. I mean, who doesn't love a mammal that can lay eggs? Okay. I think I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I don't have any more questions.
I'm so frustrated by this internet thing that I don't even care. Just send it.
Okay. I do want to say yes, Travis. I think he did break the rule.
What?
He dropped a Reiner Knizia on me, thinking that I wouldn't see right through that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
He knows what he's doing.
He's just playing his Reiner Knizia card again. Okay.
There's a reason.
I will give some constructive feedback. Dune was awesome. Just give it to me a little bit quicker. I was sold within 30 seconds. But I did get a good rundown of what each faction does. So
that's the best part.
I am excited. That is true. That is true. I honestly feel like I could play Dune right now. But I also feel like I could play ZOO Vadis right now as well. So here's the thing. I love the wheeling and dealing of ZOO Vadis. I love Dune Imperium. I'd love Dune. Okay. Here's the thing, though. You could totally do a themed game night. Everyone dress up as their Dune person. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I show up covered in oil. I'm like that big dude, you know. I'm liquidy. I knock on your door. I come sludging in. What do you think about that? That would just blow your freaking mind. I mean, you do a ZOO Vadis night, and it's like it's just a blip on the game night. I don't know. Here's the thing. Plus side, ZOO Vadis. I could see Dree thinking about getting into that one. Okay, easy to get to the table. But here's what you don't know, Clayton. Psycho Steve Larson married a real baddie. Okay, she is hardcore gamer. I didn't know this until they showed up. I was thinking the whole time she's into Dune. She's probably played Dune.
Yeah,
so,
no way.
Shout out to Sarah. She's probably never going to listen to this, but I will tell her next time that we play Dune. Okay, I'm giving it to Dune.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow.
You know, the main things that you had some plus sides, the wheeling and dealing, player abilities. I do like that. And you guys, I mean, honestly, for both of you, find a better favorite animal than a dog. Okay, that's your assignment.
Can I be a T-Rex? That's an animal.
Yes, I'm okay with that. That's okay.
All right, I'll be the Travisaurus Rex.
Ooh, I was surprised by that.
Not me.
But you guys brought it hard today. All right, I sprung a 6-player challenge on you like 12 hours ago, and this is what I got. I'm actually very impressed. I think there'll be a lot of our listeners that are interested in ZOO Vadis, so I like it.
They should be.
I do like
it. They don't want to spend their whole freaking day fighting with a rule book.
It's a 2-hour game, Clayton. Grow up.
As the crow flies.
I'm sure the group chat will be popping this week.
Oh yeah,
just sending me all the reviews and.
You were talking about a themed Dune game night and people dressing up. I saw a reel of just that this week. Yes. People were like the Fremen had like little nose tube that went underneath his nose and like a hood and like a big scarf. And then the Baron Harkonnen had like a bald cap and was like all oily and gross. I'm into it. I love it.
So Clay, you could do a themed animal night. I mean, what's the zoo game that Mary really likes?
New York Zoo.
New York Zoo. You could do that one.
Get some Ark Nova.
Ark Nova. There's some
shout out to Wild Duo.
Yeah.
Ooh. Maybe we should do like a one of these days a curated game night. Like here's the theme, and then we each come up with a game to slip in there. You know,
like
that. I've always thought that that's probably what this could turn into if we wanted to monetize this. You know, we could do curated game nights. That's what I'm saying. So
you hire us to ship you, or like if we had enough games in our repertoire, we could like package up all the games and like send them to somebody as a package. Like you check out a game night in a box. It's got all of the curated games ready to go. Ooh.
It's got Camel up. It's got Super Mega Lucky Bucks.
It's got all the hard hitters.
Has anyone seen Dice Miner?
Yeah.
I had Dice Miner on the ready if there was people dropping out, because again, do they have a 6-player Dice Miner variant or anything?
No,
that would be a toughie because there'd be too many turns between, I think. But I digress.
Let's hop that fence.
Let's go.
Invincible to play.
Let's get it. We're going over the fence. Clayton, tell me what you've been doing outside of board gaming.
Been watching Only Murders in the Building after being suggested to by multiple people.
Yep.
It took me a little bit to get into it, but now it's just like kind of a whimsical, fun show that's, you know, you don't see the things coming, and it's fun. It's a good cast. I have enjoyed going through it. I think we only have like 2 episodes left before we've finished it, but yeah, Only Murders in the Building has been our show as of late. So shout out to Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and that other guy. Steve Martin. Wait, no, what's his name? Martin Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Apple Plus?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Adri, have you seen it, Jared?
I think Adri has watched a few of them. I haven't seen it myself.
Seems like she would probably like watching that.
Yeah, it's good. Yep. Jared, hit me. What you been doing outside of board gaming?
This is my really quick over the fence. I installed myself a little foot pedal from when I took down Christmas. I was like, you know what? I could use that foot pedal and use it for my ring light, because every time I have to crawl underneath it and unplug it, because it's got this like terrible standby light that if I turn it off right here, it's just like, and as you can tell on the YouTubes, that is where I sleep, and I did not make the bed, so that's you can kind of see that when I move around. So I apologize, Adri. But that is my quick one. But my main one, you guys got me turned on to Pokemon. Okay. I'm over here opening packs. I'm fighting, but I have a what is this? Bad, what do you call those?
Gambling addiction?
Yes. No. Like a not so good thing. What do you? My brain is broken. My hot take is. My hot take is that I don't like playing people who pay for the premium version.
Yeah,
because they just throw out a Zapdos and you're like, well, I'm effed then. Okay, or they bust out 2 Mewtwo's on you and I'm like,
oh, the Mewtwo meta is crazy.
I don't know. It's fine, and they're probably like a bunch of 10-year-olds. But yeah, I've gotten really into it. I like battling, but I've started to notice all I'm hitting up against is like dudes with Mewtwo's, and I'm like, this is dumb, because I'm not going to pay for it, but I do enjoy
the AI battles. The battles are fun. Like
they are.
There's a reason why CCGs, TCGs are so popular, because like actually making a deck and like playing with it is fun.
It is.
You know the cards that are coming, but yeah.
I'm anxious to see when they're going to let us trade, right? That's an option.
It said January, didn't it?
How long has it been coming soon?
Yeah.
Because
I got some good cards.
I have a lot of, not Fieros, whatever Sparrow goes into.
Pharaoh.
Yeah. I have like 7 of those mother effers, but I need a Weedle. Okay. If anyone out there has a Weedle, hit me up.
You got it.
So they just did that Blastoise event with the solo battles, and I did the beginner and I did the advanced, and then you go to the beginner, intermediate, advanced. He gets Blastoise out there immediately.
Oh yeah,
each of his attacks do 140 damage, and he gets to keep all of his energy between. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this until I figured out there's cards that will swap him back to the bench.
Yeah.
And I used Electabuzz. I think it was Electabuzz, and he can damage players on the bench. So I whittled him down on the bench. So I'm like, okay, hold on. So then I did the advance. I beat it. I'm like, great. And then there's like a advanced, like an even worse turbo, whatever it is. And it's Blastoise EX and Articuno. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. And I hammered him. And I did it first try. So
no way.
No big deal. Got the reward special Blastoise card. But yeah, that was heated. I was sweating.
Dang.
That's great.
I was about to say, I'm just sad that when you do hit damage to the Pokemon on the back row, that it doesn't count their weakness. You know, like I'm hitting you with a lightning bolt and you're a water Pokemon. Why aren't you taking an extra hit? Sorry, that's my rant. I'll get off my soapbox. So.
I did not even realize that.
I didn't either.
Now you know. It's fine. It's fine. I understand. But.
Okay.
Travis, what did you do over the fence?
Okay, I have a couple quick things to hit. Game Crafter sale is going on. By the time this publishes, you'll have like 1 or 2 days. People can go in and make their own board games out of all these different components and stuff, upload their own artwork. There's like miniaturized versions of all your favorite games. There's a Mint 10 version of Mint Knight. There's a Mint 10 version of Twilight Imperium. There's some awesome games out there. All these big publishers have all your money already. Go out and support the little guy. They're having a good sale. There's some bangers in there that are like buried down in this website. So go ahead, click around, find some games that you like and buy them. Next, here's your Root Minute for the podcast. Marauder expansion coming to Root Digital in January. Excited for that. Then, over the fence for me, I went back to work. I shaved my face. 2 days of work really took it out of me, and I'm tired. But my real thing is that I got my new Retroid device. Okay, this thing is cool. Like an Android-based retro gaming system that you can just like side load whatever you want onto this thing, and the screen is great. It's a cool little easy to use thing. I haven't completely set it up yet, but when I do, I'm going to show this off because it's pretty legit. And
you play nice Pokemon on it?
Oh yeah, I'm going to play some Pokemon on it. Come on now.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, that's my over the fence. I've just been tinkering with electronics and I went back to work.
Nice. Not nice that you went back to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm sorry. Sorry that I had connection issues. I'm not sure what happened, but hopefully the audio comes through okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I just want to say thank you guys you guys have been curating me some good games. And I hope you don't I felt Clay get a little deflated there. I hope you don't think that we're keeping score or anything. But like
No. I'm not deflated.
I am the one who's winning. All right. There's no losers here. Okay. And so is the listener. The listener is winning. So
different tastes for everybody. Everybody's different. All right. This has been episode 21 of the Operation Game Night podcast. I have been.
Who are you?
I'm Travis.
Travis.
I've been Travis. He has been Clay. He has been Jared. And we're out.
All right.